बाबा पूछी नो लौटा भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने फ्रेंड जय जय श्री राधे हरि बोल जय हरि बोल प्रसाद लेना नवन करना दंडवत.
We are beginning the second day of our Govardhan Parikrama here at Puchuri, which is the southern end of Govardhan Hill. And here we're offering our obeisances. We're offering our obeisances in the temple of Lota Baba. Lota Baba is one of the cowherd boys. And when Krishna left Vrindavan 5,000 years ago, then he went and said goodbye to everyone the day before he left. So he came here and was saying goodbye to Lota Baba, and he said, you know, I'll be back tomorrow. And Lota Baba said, well, I have a feeling that you're going to be longer. And Krishna said, well, if not tomorrow, at least the day after. And Lota Baba said, but, you know, I just have a feeling that you're going to be away a lot longer. And Krishna said, if not the day after tomorrow, latest the day after that. Lota Baba said, I think you're going to be away a lot longer. So Lota Baba sat down right here and said, I'm not going to move. I'm just going to sit here and wait till you come back. So here he is, and he is still waiting. Lota means waiting. So he is waiting Baba. So we can see the determination he has in his devotional service. Unbreakable determination. He's been waiting 5,000 years and he hasn't given up yet. Shri Lota Baba ki. Shri Giri Govardhan ki. Shri Govardhan Parikrama ki. Here we are again, coming near to Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Hill is just across on that side over there. There's on my right, on our right, you can see that building over there. That's the Nishingadev temple where we were at the end of our parikrama yesterday. So here now, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, so here we are now. We are on the banks of Apsara Kund. And across on our right-hand side, in between here and that Nishingadev temple, is Naval Kund. So when the Abhishek was being done for Krishna, then the Apsaras came here and took water from this Kund. And this is considered to be the place of the heavenly Apsaras at Govardhan Hill. There's another version that, well, this area, the area we're in now, is where the spring rasa dance begins. So there's also a version that when Radha and Krishna were dancing in that rasa dance, they became so ecstatic that their bodies melted. And Radharani's body became the waters of Apsara Kund, and Krishna, who is Naval, Navayovanam, ever fresh, his body became the waters of Naval Kund over on the right. So if you like, you can go take some water from the Kund, from Apsara Kund on your head. And then we're going to go around the Kund on the left-hand side into the Rasastali area. Here we're standing by one tamal tree. This tree, the smaller tree here, just right in front of us, this is a tamal tree. And over there, just on your right, there's about 3 or 4 Kadamba trees, quite old. These trees which are situated in the concrete platform there. So this is the Rasastali area where the spring rasa dance began. And it used to be full of these Kadamba trees and tamal trees. Shri Giri Govardhan ki.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Next to again be at the lotus feet of Giriraj, Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Hill is a unique pastime place for Sri Krishna in Braja. We have been visiting so many different Leela stans, pastime places, but there are three, that is Vrindavan, Govardhan Hill and Radha Kund, that are especially significant to the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is because in these places, Sri Radha and Krishna enjoy their most intimate pastimes. In other places, Varshana, Nandagram, Yavat and so on, there are so many impediments. There are superiors, of course the social conventions that they're expected to abide by, to live by. And so they always want to run to Vrindavan, to Govardhan, to Radha Kund in Nandagram, dinner in the evening. Then as he is being served, as the Nishta is putting some prasad on his plate, he will push one of her 10 toes. Each of these toes, they represent a different place in Vrindavan or Govardhan, Radhakund. And so she takes the message, delivers it to Srimati Radharani. This evening Krishna wants to meet you at this particular place. So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always meditating on Vrindavan and Radhakund and Govardhan Hill. He always wanted to come to these places. When he was living in Jagannath Puri, oftentimes he would mistake different situations for Vrindavan. One day he saw in the distance some sand dunes, and with great anticipation he started running towards that sand hill. And he was chanting a verse, Hantayam Adrir Abala Haridasa Vardayo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayasti Yoryat Paniya Suyava Sakandara Kandamule. This is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a verse that appears in the Gopi Geet, and it is our acharyas tell us that it is a verse that is spoken specifically by Srimati Radharani. She begins saying, Hanta, how wonderful. This is a word of exclamation. How great, how wonderful is this mountain. Haridasa Varya. Varya. Haridas means servant of Hari. Varya means the greatest. Actually, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 3 personalities that are called Haridas. One is Yudhisthira Maharaj. How dear was he to Krishna? That Krishna saved him and his family so many times from different dangerous situations. Krishna, he agreed to become the receptionist at the Rajasurya Yagya out of love for Yudhisthira Maharaj. As the receptionist, he was receiving each of the kings as they arrived and the different respected brahmanas and rishis. He would offer them sweet words, he would wash their feet, show them to their quarters. Such humble service. Why was the Supreme Lord engaged in such humble service? Out of love for Yudhisthira Maharaj. The other personality called as Haridas in the Bhagavatam is Uddhava Prabhu. Later we will hear about Uddhava as when we go to Uddhava Kund. Very intimate associate of Krishna. He was Krishna's cousin and dear friend and advisor. He is also called Haridas. But in this verse, the gopis, they designate Giriraj, Govardhan as Haridasa Varya, the best of the Haridasas. Why is he the best? Because he performs such wonderful and intimate service for Sri Krishna. He has provided, he provides service to Krishna's cows. Krishna is Go Brahman Nahitayacha. He is very affectionate to cows and brahmanas. And so Giriraj, he provides fresh, green grass. Therefore he's called Govardhana. He nourishes cows. He also provides many nice waterfalls and lakes, crystal clear lakes, where the cows and the boys, they can drink water. He provides many different minerals, colors, pigments. And the cowherd boys, they use these to decorate themselves. Cowherd girls also use to make gopi dots. They don't use the artificial colors that the Matajis use. They have these beautiful natural mineral pigments from the slopes of Govardhan Hill. Also on the slopes of Govardhan are many jewels, and there are caves. So and within these caves, Radha and Krishna, they perform wonderful pastimes. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell unconscious on top of that sand dune, the devotees went running behind him and they were feeling great anxiety. Mahaprabhu has fallen unconscious. What shall we do? It was very painful for them to see Mahaprabhu in this condition. And so they very loudly chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Mahaprabhu opened his eyes and he spoke to the devotees. Where have you brought me? What have you done? I was at Govardhan and now you brought me back here. Mahaprabhu was crying. He said, at Govardhan, I saw Shri Radha and Krishna in the company of their gopi friend. And Radha and Krishna entered into one of the caves of Govardhan Hill to enjoy pastimes. And the gopis called me and they said, will you help to pick flowers for Shri Radha Krishna? And that's what I was doing. I was picking flowers with the gopis for Radha and Krishna, experiencing such bliss. And then you all made such a loud noise and brought me back here. So that was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood of meditation. So Govardhan is a very, very special place. Therefore devotees, they always pray to Giriraj that he will give them mercy, that he will give them the opportunity to serve Shri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at the final days, during his final days of his pastimes, very near, he lived actually on that sand dune where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell unconscious, called Jataka Parvata. He had his quarters there and he was staying there, chanting, hearing, remembering Krishna. And he was very often heard to say one line from some verses by Raghunath Das Goswami. Nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhana tvam. Dear Giriraj, please give me residence near to you. These were words that devotees often heard him say during the final days of his pastimes. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada, during the final days of his pastimes, he told the devotees, I want to go to Govardhan for Govardhan Parikrama. And devotees said, no, it's not possible. Your body is so fragile, frail. Surely your body will not be able to survive the Parikrama. And Prabhupada said, yes, that will be that will be my deliverance. That will give me life. So Prabhupada very much wanted to come to Govardhan during his final days. Later the devotees fulfilled that desire by establishing Bhaktivedanta Ashram. And Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj is saying that after Prabhupada's disappearance, the devotees, they came, right after Prabhupada's disappearance, devotees came to Govardhan and they did Govardhan Parikrama with the deity of Srila Prabhupada. So you can see Govardhan is a very, very special, very, very significant place. So while we're doing this Parikrama, we should be praying to Giriraj for his mercy. We just had Sharad Purnima some 8-9 days ago, the full moon in the month of Sharad, in the autumn month. So that is when the Rasalila takes place as described in the Bhagavatam. But there is a Rasalila that takes place here at Govardhan, in this very place where we are sitting. And that takes place in the spring, Vasanti. Srila Jayadev Goswami, he has written of this Vasant Raslila. When he was writing of this Lila, he came, because these pastimes were being revealed to him, and he was simply writing as he was inspired. So there came a point where the realization that he was receiving was some words where Krishna was saying, Srimati Radharani, please be kind to me and place your lotus feet on my head. So Krishna, he was enjoying Raslila here. Thousands of gopis, most beautiful women in the universe, they were dancing in circles with Krishna. Beautiful gopi musicians, they were playing instruments, different ragas, different rhythms, had different dances. At the center of that dance were Shri Radha and Krishna. But at one point, Srimati Radharani, she became disturbed or dissatisfied, and she left the Rasa dance. In Vrindavan, the Bhagavatam description of the Raslila, Krishna leaves with Radharani, but in this Govardhan Lila, Radharani leaves by herself and followed by her friends. When Radharani left the Rasa dance had no meaning to Krishna anymore. To Krishna, that whole arrangement of Raslila is just to enhance his own pastimes with Srimati Radharani. Without Radha, there is no Rasa dance. And so although he was with thousands of the most beautiful women in the universe, they had no attraction to him without Radha. Radha was upset because she felt that Krishna wasn't experiencing the highest bliss. Because there were thousands of girls, he was dealing with them equally. But not all of the gopis are on the same level of loving Krishna. So exchanging with them equally causes him to not be able to exchange to the deepest levels. So she left. And Krishna, he went searching for her from kunj to kunj. Where is my Radharani? Finally, he found her seated in one kunj with Lalita, Vishakha, and others. He came to speak to her, and she just turned her face in the other direction. She said, Lalita, tell him to go away. Krishna was very disturbed. She won't even say it to me directly. She's telling someone else to tell me. If there's no possibility for discussion, then how will I be able to appease her anger? So Krishna was feeling very sad and helpless. He went to another kunj and he lay down and he was crying.
Спустя какое-то время
Actually, not so long after he left, Radha said, okay, go and see what he's doing. So the messengers, they went, oh, he's crying in the kunj. Then the message came back, he's fallen asleep. He's cried himself to sleep. So when the gopis heard this, he's fallen asleep, they came with a very interesting idea. If Shyam Sundar is asleep, then who's protecting his flute? The gopis, they see the flute as an enemy, as a rival that enjoys the nectar of Krishna's lips, which belongs